What a good way to start the video. This is Madison. Say hi. Yeah, Madison's a bit grumpy. Yeah. My name's Caitlin. This is my daughter Madison. I don't think you might be able. No, you might be able to see Honey. This is our dog, Honey. 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 She's snoring right now. Oh, there she is. Honey! Look at you! That's Honey. Snuggles, our kitty. Nice belly button shot. Our cat, Snuggles. He's over there, resting. But he is a big white mountain lion. Isn't he? He's so big. Imagine that so much. Yeah. I've decided to record every day and do like questions and stuff for young moms who don't know anything. Not that they don't know anything, but that they need help doing stuff. And we have a lot of like stuff that we don't need anymore because Madison is such a big girl now, and we would love to give it to somebody who needs it. So if you're interested, private message me or leave a comment. Sorry I look like crap today. It's yucky outside and Madison is going through her 6-month growth spurt. Huh. Yeah. And she's miserable. And my dog is being a pain in the butt. Eating. Like, she keeps eating out of our garbage, and no matter where you put it, she always finds a way to get it at it. And it's... And our cat threw up this morning, and I had school today, and Billy, my fiance, is at work all day, basically. So, being a stay-at-home mom is very hard, and I can also help if anybody needs help. I can help you with that too. I'm basically just here for support and looking for people to talk to because, like I said, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and this is all I do basically. Just hang out with this little one. And our animals. Don't mind our Shrine O Earnhardt. It's actually my Billy. His name is Billy. It's Billy's. Oh, it's all over here. And up here. And over there. It's ridiculous. I call it his shrine. Madison, yesterday, well, Madison is 6 months old today. She was born March 22nd at 7:18 p.m. Huh. Yeah. So I weighed 7 pounds, 12 ounces, and I had her I carried 40 weeks and 3 days, which was when was it? Was it a Wednesday? Yes, it was a Wednesday. That Tuesday, the day before, I started getting not really bad menstrual pains, but they weren't normal to me. So I had a doctor's appointment that day, and my midwife was amazing. If I have another baby, I don't care how far away we live, I I want to go to her because she was the best. I don't think, like, for my first pregnancy, I'm really glad I had her. Um, but I told her, I was like, I'm having pains. I don't know if I'm starting to go into labor or if it's false labor or if they're just really bad Braxton Hicks contractions. But so I asked her about it, and she told me that it was perfectly normal. I was a centimeter and a half dilated, and no, I was 1 centimeter dilated, and I was 90% effaced. So I went home. Oh, she measured me. No, she measured me, and she used the heart Doppler, and Madison was fine. Ha! She sees all my cords and stuff. So went home. She's like, if they get really bad, call labor and delivery. So I was like, okay. And I have a really, like, I don't have a high pain tolerance, but I can tolerate pain better than most people. So, they didn't really, like, get that bad. I came home from I came home, and Billy, we lived in Syracuse, but New York, and my doctor was in Newark, which was an hour and a half away from here, because I had just moved up here with him, and so I was staying at my grandma's house until I had her, and came down to he came down to visit me every weekend. So he took me to my appointment, and he had to go back to Syracuse that day because he had to work. So I told him, I was like, if this keeps going the way it is, expect a phone call tonight. And he's like, okay. And he left. And as soon as he left, I went to the bathroom, lost my mucus plug. I had already lost my mucus plug at 32 weeks, but it was clear. And I was like, oh no. So I looked, and it had bloody show in it. So I looked on the internet, and I found out that you can regenerate your mucus plug, and that I had just lost it again with bloody show, which means that either I was in labor or I was going into labor soon, which I knew it was the beginning of labor because the pain I was having wasn't normal to me. And being a girl and being pregnant, like, your body was made to carry and deliver babies. So it's like an instinct. Girls know. Even if it's your first pregnancy, you know. So I kind of knew. And I kept, like, they were spontaneous contractions. Like, I'd get one, and I'd get one 10 minutes later. Or I'd get one and 5 minutes later. Or it'd be 15 minutes later. So, like, they weren't continuous. And I remember sitting on the table that night with my grandma and my grandpa, and my Aunt Candy called my grandpa, and my grandpa told her that he thinks I'm starting to go into labor and that I'm having contractions. So she told me to count my contractions, which you do it from the start of one to the start of another. And if the start of one and the start of the other are within 5 minutes, you need to go to the hospital. Are you pooping? I think she's pooping. So, like I said, spontaneous. This was at like 6 o'clock at night. Are you pooping? Quite the character. So went to bed. Well, I texted Billy, and I told him, I was like, I'm starting to come to my contractions. They're not so frequent, but they but they hurt. Like, they were getting to the point where they were starting to hurt. So, counting, and I got, like, I was tired. Being, I was 40 weeks and 2 days pregnant, and you're uncomfortable, and you can't sleep because you have this big thing on you, and it's so hard to get comfortable. And, my computer, okay. It's so hard to get comfortable. You can't, like, turning is like lofting this big old hay bale from one side and turning onto the other. So I'm tired, and I'm in pain, and I'm uncomfortable, and I knew I had to sleep. At least some. So I fell asleep. I looked at it like 10, and I fell asleep so quick. It was ridiculous. Are you pooping? So, I woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning, and as soon as I woke up, like, the pain brought me to tears, and that's when I knew. I was like, yep, it's time. Went to the bathroom. I was continuously losing my mucus plug, like, push it out, baby. So, my grandma is flipping out because she's like, oh my god, it's time. So I call labor and delivery, and they asked me how many minutes apart, and I was like 7, and they say from 5 to 7 minutes go to the doctor, but I just wanted to call and make sure. She's like, the least you can do is, if you really want to, come in and we'll give you a non-stress test or a stress test or whatever it's called. And she's like, that will ensure that you are in labor. And I was like, are you serious? Like, I know I'm in labor. I'm not bleeding, but, like, I'm in labor. You don't have to give me a test for me to tell you that I'm in labor. So I was like, no, what can I do from home? She's like, the best thing you can do is walk and drink lots of water, because as soon as you're in the hospital and you get, like, hooked up to the IV, all you can do is eat ice chips. And when you get an epidural, you can't eat anything. So I tried eating, like, toast and stuff, and I drank a whole bunch of water, and I paced. Like, the downstairs of my grandma's house is a big circle. Like, there's different rooms, but each room leads into a different room. So it's a big circle. And I just constantly walked it. And my grandpa is trying, he keeps asking me, do you want me to get a hold of Billy? Because from where he is, he has to drive an hour and a half to where we are. So he doesn't want Billy to miss anything. And I was like, no, not yet. And I started walking at like 1:30, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, you know what? I was like, whatever, call him. So I called him from 3:05 to 4 o'clock in the morning, and he didn't answer. I called him 55 times in a row. And my grandpa was getting so mad that he called the cops up in Syracuse, and was going to have him come to the house and beat on the door to wake up Billy so he didn't miss his daughter being born. So, Billy finally got here. Well, got to my grandma's house. And my mom and my aunt were already there, because that's the first thing my grandma did when she found out. So what she called my mom and my aunt, they came. It was 4 hours later, and I was still 7 minutes apart. My contractions were still 7 minutes apart. So they went home. Billy got there, and I went back up to bed with him